And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Monday, February 9th, 2026. Hope you had a good weekend. I was all over the map this weekend. I was in New York City, where it was 5 to 10 degrees below zero wind chill, and had to fly back to Florida for family reasons, and it's 71 degrees here. I have to tell you, I love cold weather. The 30s. I don't like 5 to 10 wind chill on the negative side. Anyway, hope you had a good weekend. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we finished the playoffs, both the college and pros, 10-1, as we gave you out Seattle. And we even said to you, I could see the final score 27-13. Final score was 29-13. I'm pretty sure we said to you, I can see the defense scoring a touchdown. Oh, the defense scored a touchdown. So we said Seattle money line, and if you need to do the points or want to do the points, Seattle minus the 4.5. We finished up 10-1. And I must tell you, I've gotten a lot of emails on this because, as you know, and we're not BSing, since we started giving out Super Bowl picks, I think we've lost 5 since 2000. I believe we're in probably the high 70s, low 80s in the playoffs. And I'm getting a lot of people asking, nobody does those numbers. Well, we have. And look, 10-1 is ridiculous, and frankly, we got lucky on 2 games, but it all counts. Let me explain why we've been so good through the years. We work at it. We can't do it during regular season. We don't have the time. And we'd probably be pretty good. But we don't think we have a big edge during regular seasons of basketball and football. We think we have a good edge because you have a whole season of playing against teams. You know what I was also very good at many years ago? I used to go to dog track all the time. Very good handicapper, and I'm good at horses also, but I really haven't done a lot of horses. By the way, I do bet like the Triple Crown races and stuff, and I'm pretty darn good. We work at it. And for this one game, we worked at it. We figured out 2 things, and we were right. Number one, the offensive line for New England is definitely prone to sacks. We knew that. You combine that with the Seattle defense is prone to sack, and we just thought the defense would win the game. We told you we thought the defense would win the game. The defense won the game. What did they have, 6 sacks? And then they had the touchdown, which turned, I thought it was a fumble for a second, but it was an interception. We work at it. I have a buddy named Steve. He's one of the preeminent handicappers in the world. Unbelievable record. I've never seen somebody work longer and harder than this person. And just so you know, to be 58, 59, 60%, that's an unbelievable number. That's how tough this is. Anyway, we work at it. And we really thought Seattle had the edge. We were 100% right on the defense winning the game. I don't know if you saw them. I'm sure you saw the game. They just manhandled them. They manhandled the offensive line of New England. And I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. When you have 300-pound men who are also fast, jumping all over you, you do the happy dance. And you know what the happy dance is? Get me the hell out of the way, and you end up throwing some bad pitches. One of the interceptions was pure scared by Drake May. Just get rid of the ball, and he threw it right in the middle of no man's land. So we got a lot of emails from you guys thanking us. I love this. I absolutely love this, that we're able to be so successful on it. And congratulations to Seattle. We told you before the playoffs that we thought they were winning the Super Bowl. We just thought they were the best team. But we gave a caveat. As long as Darnold doesn't do anything stupid. Let me state for the record, in the first quarter, I thought he threw some passes that should have been intercepted. I think he lucked out in the first quarter, but got better after that. So, anyway, and I love the fact we said 27-13. It was 29-13. We told you we didn't like the over-under. The over-under was 45 and a half. It actually went under. I did not bet it. And we await next year. And again, my buddy Steve, you know how you know when somebody's good as gambling? When they give out games of teams like Alcorn A&M or Canisius. I mean, teams you never even heard of. That is what is known as working at it. So anyway, that's the start. And I have to bring up one more thing. The halftime show. You know, I don't know what's happened out there, is the culture wars and this, that, and the other thing. And I don't like, I don't believe in belittling any person and their opinions. But I gotta tell you, a lot of people just so upset about the halftime show, and it's somebody speak in Spanish and this and that. And some people actually are talking about it like it was World War III. You know? I can understand people saying, it's the year 250th year, and all that. I can understand that. I can also understand the other side saying, wait a minute, he's a performer, this, that, and the other thing. But man, to turn it into something like it's World War III, I don't even know what to tell you. You know what I love about Bad Bunny, by the way? He's a great professional wrestler. And you know how much I love professional wrestling. He wrestled one match. He looked like he was doing it for 20 years. And I believe he's going to be doing something going forward. At least that's the rumor. Anyway, great game. Whatever halftime show you watch, God bless you. To each his own. And all that crap. But anyway, 10-1. I'm very happy. That's the best we've ever done. I think we had some playoff years where we went like 8-2, 9-2, 9-3, but 10-1, and the Super Bowl, and almost picked the score. I'm going to talk about this a lot, by the way. Anyway, I may have to bring it up again tomorrow. Oh, by the way, this is Investor's Edge, serious talk about everything that affects you, the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the Morlocks in D.C., and anything else that goes around. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com, also on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. We'll also post it on podcast apps, as well as BizTV YouTube channel. And if you'd like to email me, just be nice. We had somebody email us, and usually I'm very witty and charming back, but this guy is not going to use the word, so I threw it back in his face, and all of a sudden, whoa, I'm the bad guy. Anyway, what can I tell you? Such is life. Listen, I do a radio show. I'm on Fox. You can imagine some of the emails I get, but you can also imagine the, hey, I've seen you. We get a lot of people shaking hands because I'm on Fox, which, by the way, is the greatest. I've had people come up asking for pictures in front of my kids. Imagine how cool that feels. Anyway, we segue from football to the markets. 71 degrees outside here. Left 5 degrees below. Up next, the markets. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the Dow was up 20 today. That's a fantastic day. The Dow was up 1,200 on Friday. The Dow was down 250 very early this morning and just got shooed away. The fact that it was even up today is pretty darn good. And it was the same suspects. There are two stocks that are really driving the bus, and they're the highest priced stocks. Today, Goldman and Caterpillar were up 200 Dow points. What were they up? 550 Dow points on Friday? So there were other things that were down today, but you know what else was up today for a change? Microsoft was up almost $13. That's about, I'm going to call it 80 Dow points. And we'll go through Microsoft and the rest later. NVIDIA was up another 4.5 today. Not much for Dow, but NVIDIA, great rebound. Weakness today in the Dow. Apple was down 3.5. Amgen, which has gone straight up off earnings, down 8. Home Depot 4. Merck 4, whatever. Oh, Travelers down 8. Visa down 6. Visa and MasterCard act terribly. So let's pick it apart. Let's go with the worst. So, for a while, avoid the crypto and the coins and software. Last week, they crashed until Friday. And by the way, they did crash when the IGV goes from 99 to 79 in 6 days. That's a crash. That's a crash. And by the way, that's from a third lower high. The GBTC, which is the Bitcoin, goes from 70 to 48 in 6 days. That's a crash. And that's a lower high. Remember, there was a shelf, a bear flag, that we said if it breaks below 64, look out, and went from 64 to 45. Guess what, though? You're now getting counter trend. What is a counter trend? It is a rally to undo some of the crash, some of the drop. And what that simply means is price got so stretched and extended away from what we call the norm. The norm being a certain pattern of bearish markets. That imagine you are dropping from 11 p.m. down to, 11 to 5. And then all of a sudden you go straight down. That's what we mean by changing the trajectory. And when you get so far away from the norm, you get bounces. But you don't know when. You don't know how much. You don't know which is going to be best. You just measure them. So, you had a lot of worst being first today. And you got to be careful. First off, if you catch them right, you can make some serious cheese. Imagine if something drops from 100 to 60 and rallies to 72. 60 to 72 is 20%. That'd be a nice catch. But you are buying in a bear market and in a downtrend where it's usually going to be fleeting. So let me give you an example of some today so you have an understanding. Because the NASDAQ was up 207 today. NASDAQ 100 was up 192, with the Dow only up 20. Well, let's look at Microsoft, which is a mega cap and moves the needle. It was up $12.50 today, 3%. By the way, on Friday, it was up, 393 was up 8. So you got $20 in 2 days, which is like 6%. But what you have to realize, Microsoft just went from 483 down to 392. Of course it's going to bounce. It closed at 413 today. Still down from 483 just days ago. That's what we mean by bounces. Oracle got upgraded today, was up $13.77, almost 10%. And that's after bouncing a little on Friday, about $6. That's Oracle. Only one problem. It was just $208 3 weeks ago. It was up $13 today to 156, down from 208. A counter trend move. But that's another big name with a counter trend move. Meta up $16 today. Just dropped from 744 down to 661 in 6 days. $80. Up 16 today. Counter trend. Though Meta looks better than both of the previous two I mentioned. That's what happened today. Now you do have some names that may have changed the complexion. Not 100% sure. NVIDIA. Looked dead going into Friday. And NVIDIA, which closed Thursday at 172, approximate, was up $13 on Friday. Up another $460 today. That's pretty darn good. Though it was up one time today, about 8. And it goes back into range instead of big breaking down. That's important. Being just in a range is no big deal. But when you are breaking down badly and you are the number one influencer stock in the market, a big deal. Same for Broadcom, another big name. On Thursday, closed at 310. Friday closed at 333. Hit a high of 352 today. Closed at 344. That's a big move off lows. The high was 414 though. Counter trend. Up next, sector by sector coming up. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. All right, so let's go a little sector by sector. By the way, did I tell you we were 10-1 in the playoffs? And gave you out 27-13 Seattle, and they won 29-13? Okay, enough of that. Crypto bounced a little bit today, but anemically, and most definitely in a bear market of unknown price and time, but got very extended to the downside. Little bounce the last couple of days. We hope you listened going back to October, because that's when it topped out. Gold and silver. We simply told you we had absolutely no edge after that 2-day nasty drop into last Monday. what we had said to you was I expect bouncing, backing, and filling. And somewhat wildly. Well, we can tell you that gold bounced up the next day, sat around for 3 days, and is trying to edge back up into the Eiffel Tower, which is what it made. Silver, much weaker than gold now, but silver held the 50-day on the drop, and you want to know what a drop is? Silver went from 110 to 68 in 2 days. Had one more drop down to 65, which was Thursday. It's back up to 75. This is what we mean by, hey, you can get these counter-trend moves and make good cheese. That's like 17% in 2 days. I still have no edge except to say, past couple of days, nice bounces. Nice bounces. I do like that the gold miners seem to be stronger, than the metal, which is maybe good news. Would I be surprised if the highs get taken out anytime soon in gold and silver? Hell yes. For me, that would not be the norm. But we're in a new realm these days. Wild swings are the name of the game. What else? Oils. I got to tell you, oil prices have moved up. But oil stocks are much stronger than oil prices. And I have to tell you, we came on this show and even said to you, boy, Exxon's breaking out of like 9-month base. I didn't buy it. It has gone from 127 to 151 in 3.5 weeks. It's about 18%. Very liquid oil name. I didn't buy it. And man, it's been strong. Strongest of the big ones. But Chevron broke out later at 170. It's already 182. Others not as strong. But darn. The oil services ETF, which by the way, just broke above the high of 23 at 364, 374 right now. On a 1-year basis, the 317 was the breakout, if I am not incorrect. It's 374 already. Another one I regret. Very much. The XLEs, the big oil ETF, that's the Exxon types. That broke out. I'm going to call it about 48. Yeah. Not even a month ago. It's 53. The weaker is the XOP, which is the exploration and production. That's just edging out, and it's not the one I always look to buy the strongest of. And then there's been some individual names, nice move, and I don't own any. What can I tell you? Semiconductors. The SOX was up another 113. The SOX went from 83.86 to 74.61 in 4 days, back to 81.62 in 3. And on Thursday, 50-day moving average by 22 points. On Thursday, I think I told you this Friday, I was going to buy just buy a little bit for myself. I had too much angst to do it for anybody else, especially with software crashing into Thursday. But I figure you buy the strongest at the 50-day. I didn't. The close was 76.14. It's 81.62. It's about 7% in 2 days. Oh well. Duh. Transports pulled back a little bit today, but went vertical. Insurance stocks, there's your bear market. Insurance stocks are a horror show. They smacked a few big time today again. I'm just letting you know the economically sensitive areas of the market. I'm looking at chemicals and some of the lowest of low beta as I was scanning earlier today. Companies with 15 and 20% earnings drops. Companies with no sales growth went up 10% last week into new high ground. So as we always tell you, if that's occurring, economy's in good shape. I've never seen a bear market in the economy when economic stocks are doing their thing. It's quite amazing. And when I say boring, I mean I'm writing down symbols that I've never written down before. I wrote down Timken makes ball bearings and alloy steel products with no growth. Breaks out at 85, it's 108. So the market's saying something. Oh, and by the way, Timken stock has done nothing since 21. So we're getting that. And this goes hand in hand with they're telling us GDP 4 and 5, which is amazing for a $30 trillion economy. The president gets great credit on that, though his poll numbers suck, and I think that has to do with him. And you know what I mean by that. He needs to fix that up. Because with 4 and 5 GDP, your poll number should be darn good. He needs to read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, in my humblest of opinions. So that's the story. The most boring of boring, and that's what did the Dow last Friday. That's what did the Dow. Rest today, some of the banks were strong. Canadian banks breaking out again. The steel stocks and copper, strong. I keep hearing that copper, there's going to be shortages up the wazoo going forward, that you got to own it. Okay. There's been all kinds of noise on AI this weekend about who's doing what and with what and all that crap. And that's moving some things. Some of the very weak AI stuff bounced well today, right before earnings. We'll see how it goes. Up next. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. We got questions on New York City. Is it true that they really haven't taken care of the snow and the garbage like the pictures we have seen? Yeah, it's true. And guess who gets the blame? The mayor. Whether it's his fault or not, I don't know. I have not been there for a big snowstorm like that in a long while. And people I asked said this is about as bad as they've ever seen. Again, the head honcho top dog Big Cheese gets the applause or the kick in the teeth, depending on the job getting done. And all I can tell you is, there is a buildup of snow around on the streets, and there's a lot of garbage out there that has not been picked up. But New York, even, I got to tell you, 5 degrees below, and people are still doing their thing, going out. By the way, as I said, I love the cold. I like 30. There was also wind. Wind. It was 10 degrees with wind, making it wind chill 5 degrees below. I had 3 layers on. I had gloves, muffs, the whole works. Still no fun. My eyes were tearing up. The whole works. But I got to tell you, there's still nothing like New York City. Too bad the politicians disrespect the people there. The mayor is calling for higher taxes, and he's going to chase away a lot more people. He's nuts. He actually thinks you can talk down to the producers and the job creators and abuse them and disrespect them and expect good things to happen. You know, in California, there is a proposal for a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires. And a bunch left. Do they expect anything different? Oh, I'm a billionaire. I've worked my tail off. I have 5,000 employees. I've done everything right. I'm philanthropic. I do this, that, and the other thing. And you want to take 5% of my net worth? Kiss off. Bunch left. And now the New York City, let me tell you what this mayor wants to do. You ready for this? He wants to still tax you if you leave. I'm not making this up. If you leave and you do business with anybody in New York City, you're going to pay taxes, even though you're in a different state. He's insane. He wants an exit tax. You're locked in. He's nuts. They come up with these cockamamie ideas that never work, and you would think they would look into whether they've worked in the past, but no. Because what does it come down to? Power and control. They're that nuts. They're that nuts. And I said on TV weeks ago, you know what they should do in California instead of a wealth tax on billionaires? Lower taxes. Tell all the billionaires around the country, we want you moving here. Bring your businesses here. Bring your employees here. We're going to be billionaire friendly and business friendly and employee friendly. No, why would we do that? So California, with their highest gas taxes and highest state tax, chasing a lot of people away. And the shame of it is, it's a magnificent state. It's a wonderful state. It's a beautiful state. And anybody running it doesn't even have to do anything. Just let it be. And the state does well in spite of. And the dummies running the place take credit when all they're doing is stepping on it. Well, that's what the doofus in New York City's going on doing. And that's a little bit of New York City. And they'll never understand. Besides the fact he's hiring a bunch of anti-Semites in whatever cabinet he has. Because he does hate the Jews. And he hates Israel. Anyway, that's a little New York City talk. The S&P, segueing, S&P, NASDAQ 100 have not broke out yet because of the makeup. But they're going to try. If the big names do better, you can expect that to occur. But other areas have been doing the job pretty darn well. I can tell you this year, NASDAQ's unchanged. S&P's up 1. The mid-cap's up 8. The Russell's up 8. Even the Dow's up 4. That's the influence of the mega caps, which acting a little bit better now. If anything changes, we'll let you know. My big interest right now is gold and silver going to have another big move. Because if they do, I'm not in them right now. If they do, I want to be on it. But right now, I have no edge. We'll see how they play out in the days ahead. And then, the oils. I think they may have a ways to go. Pullbacks. If I see any good pullbacks, I will alert. Bunch of them are extended now, in spite of oil prices not keeping up. So you have a great evening. Drive carefully. 10-1. And when you get home, do like I do. Simple. Make sure you hug your family and hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise they will be well until tomorrow. Peace out, all. Congrats to the Seahawks. Good night.